You walk out to your vegetable patch to check your crops, and something is wrong. The leaves have tiny dots, there's white fluff on the stem, or the soil is full of little flies. You don't know what it is, and because you don't know what it is, you don't know how bad it already is. You assume it's a watering issue or minor bug damage, so you spray whatever generic pesticide you have in the garage and hope for the best. Here is the harsh truth. Most of the time, by the time you actually see a pest on your plants, the infestation has been growing for weeks. In this video, we are breaking down 15 common vegetable pest insects. We will cover what they look like, the hidden mechanics of how they destroy your harvest, and exactly how to get rid of them for good. If you have a struggling vegetable garden right now, stay until the end, because the way most people try to fix these infestations is the exact thing keeping them alive. Let's start with the most common invader of any vegetable garden, aphids. These are soft-bodied insects that cluster densely on new growth tips and the undersides of young leaves, showing up in green, black, white, or orange depending on the species. They feed by sucking the sap right out of your plant's nutrient transport system, causing your vegetable leaves to look stunted, curled, and distorted. What makes aphids uniquely problematic is their reproductive speed, because females can give birth to live nymphs that are actually already pregnant. But here is the hidden mechanic no one tells you. If you see your plant struggling with aphids, your first instinct might be to add heavy nitrogen fertilizer to help the plant recover. You are literally feeding the enemy, because high nitrogen plants produce exactly the soft, tender new growth that aphids specifically seek out. The blunt fix is a strong spray of water to knock them off immediately, because they cannot climb back up once dislodged. Next, you brush past your tomatoes and a cloud of tiny white insects rises up into the air. Those are whiteflies, which look like miniature white-winged moths. The adults are mobile, but the real damage is largely done by the nymphs, which attach to the undersides of the leaves and feed on sap continuously. As they feed, they excrete a sticky substance called honeydew, which coats the leaves below and attracts a black fungal growth called sooty mold that literally blocks light from reaching the leaf. Here's why you can't seem to get rid of them. Whiteflies are prolific breeders, and they develop pesticide resistance incredibly fast. The fix is rotation. You must rotate between at least 2 different treatments, like neem oil and insecticidal soap, every 5 to 7 days to prevent resistance from building. Let's look at the stealthiest destroyer, spider mites. These are not insects. They are arachnids related to spiders, and they are so incredibly small you usually cannot see them with the naked eye. What you see instead is the damage, which looks like tiny pale yellow or bronze dots stippled across the leaf surface. If the infestation is advanced, you will see fine webbing where the leaf meets the stem, which is a very bad sign because it means the colony is large. Spider mites thrive in hot, dry conditions, and people think the infestation exploded overnight, but they weren't overnight. You just didn't see it building. The fix here is to shower the entire plant with water to knock off as many mites as possible, then apply neem, oil, or insecticidal soap every 3 to 5 days for at least 3 weeks to break the egg cycle, because one treatment never works. Then we have thrips. These are tiny, slender insects, barely 1 to 2 millimeters long, that feed by scraping the surface of your vegetable leaves and drinking the cell contents. The damage looks highly distinctive, showing up as silver or bronze streaking on the leaf surface with tiny dark specks of frass. Here is the hidden mechanic that makes thrips a total nightmare for gardeners. Part of their life cycle happens entirely in the soil, where larvae drop from the plant to pupate and emerge as adults, which means treating only the foliage leaves the next generation untouched below the soil. The blunt fix is that you must treat the soil surface to interrupt the pupation stage and use blue sticky traps to catch the adults. Next, you've probably seen tiny flies hovering around your damp soil. These are fungus gnats. The adults are annoying but mostly harmless because they don't bite and they don't damage plants directly. The harsh reality is that the larvae are the actual problem, living in the top 2 inches of moist soil and feeding on plant roots. The hidden truth here is that fungus gnats are almost always caused by overwatering, because consistently moist soil is the perfect environment for them to breed. The absolute most effective fix requires 0 chemicals. You just let the top 2 inches of soil dry out completely between waterings, which eliminates their breeding environment without any products at all. Moving on to mealybugs. If you see something that looks like tiny tufts of white cotton in the joints where leaves meet stems, that is them. They are soft-bodied insects covered in a waxy white coating that protects them from drying out and from many pesticides, which cannot penetrate the wax. They feed by piercing plant tissue and sucking out the sap. The trap most people fall into is spraying them with generic pesticide that just bounces off their armor. You have to dip a cotton swab in 70% isopropyl alcohol and touch it directly to each mealybug, because the alcohol dissolves the waxy coating immediately. But what if the pest never comes above ground at all? Welcome to the root mealybug. This is the pest most likely to kill your crop before you ever know it's there. They live entirely underground and look identical to normal mealybugs, but they feed on roots instead of foliage. The only symptom visible above the soil is a slow, unexplained decline where your plant looks like it's dying from overwatering or underwatering, but none of those are the actual cause. To save the crop, you have to wash every trace of old soil from the roots under running water, soak the bare root system in a diluted neem oil or insecticidal soap solution for 15 to 20 minutes, and repot into completely fresh, sterile mix. Then we have scale insects. These are the pests most commonly mistaken for part of the plant, looking like brown, tan, or white bumps fixed to stems and leaf midribs. They don't move, and they don't look like bugs. So many people assume they are a natural feature of the bark or a fungal growth and ignore them for months while the infestation spreads. The harsh truth is that armored scale produces a hard shell made of shed skins and wax that is entirely separate from the insect's body, making them significantly harder to kill because contact pesticides cannot penetrate the shell. The blunt fix is you must manually scrape off as many adult scale as possible using a soft toothbrush or your thumbnail. Now, let's look at the tomato hornworm. You walk out and half your tomato plant is stripped bare, but you can't see the culprit. The trap is their flawless camouflage. These are massive, bright green caterpillars that blend perfectly into the stems. You shouldn't just look for the bug. You must look for the damage, specifically square, blocky bites taken out of the leaves and dark green droppings on the foliage below. The hidden cheat code here is using a black light at night. Under UV light, hornworms glow bright neon green, making them incredibly easy to spot and pick off by hand. Next are squash bugs. You think your pumpkins or zucchini are just suffering from heat stress because the leaves are suddenly wilting, turning crisp and brown. You water them, but they keep dying. The hidden mechanic here is that squash bugs inject a highly toxic substance into the plant while they feed on the sap, which disrupts the flow of water and nutrients and mimics bacterial wilt. You have to look at the base of the stems and the undersides of the leaves for their shiny, copper-colored egg clusters and destroy them with insecticidal soap before they ever hatch. Then we have the cucumber beetle. You see a cute little yellow beetle with black stripes or spots, and you ignore it because it's just chewing tiny holes in your cucumber leaves. The harsh truth is that the physical bite isn't what kills your plant. It is the payload the beetle carries. They transmit a pathogen called bacterial wilt directly into the plant's vascular system. Once the bacteria is inside, it multiplies and clogs the veins, causing the plant to wilt and die irreversibly. Your only true defense is preventing the beetle from biting in the first place by using floating row covers over your young plants. If you are growing broccoli, kale, or cabbage, you have likely battled the cabbage worm. You notice ragged holes in your leaves and assume it's just general wear and tear until the entire head of the vegetable is hollowed out. The trap is that the innocent-looking white butterflies you see, happily fluttering around your garden, are actually laying hundreds of tiny yellow eggs on the undersides of your brassica leaves. The blunt fix is applying Bacillus thuringiensis, a natural biological control that only targets caterpillars and stops them from feeding within hours of ingestion. Let's talk about the heartbreak of the cutworm. You transplant your beautiful, healthy seedlings into the garden. The next morning, you walk out and they are sliced completely in half right at the soil line, lying flat on the dirt. You blame rabbits or birds, but the real enemy is a nocturnal caterpillar hiding just beneath the soil. Cutworms wrap themselves around the stem in the dark and chew right through it. The blunt fix is to place a physical collar, like a cardboard ring or toilet paper tube, pushed an inch into the soil around each seedling to block them completely. Next is the flea beetle. You look at your eggplant or radish leaves and they look like they've been blasted with a tiny shotgun. Hundreds of microscopic, perfectly round holes. You try to find the bug, but every time you get close, they vanish. That is because flea beetles are incredibly skittish and use powerful hind legs to jump away the second they sense a shadow or vibration. To beat them, you have to use yellow sticky traps placed inches from the plant canopy, or completely dust the leaves with diatomaceous earth to make the surface uninhabitable for them. Finally, we have the leaf miner. You see weird, squiggly, white snake-like trails looping all over your spinach or chard leaves. You spray the leaf with insecticide, but the trails keep growing and the leaf eventually dies. The hidden truth is that you are spraying the roof of their house while they are safely inside. Leaf miners are the larvae of a tiny fly that actually lives and feeds entirely between the upper and lower cell layers of the leaf. Surface sprays do absolutely nothing. You have to physically squash them inside their tunnels by pressing your fingers together over the trail or tear the affected leaves off and throw them away immediately. Let's bring it all together. The secret to a healthy vegetable harvest isn't reacting to dead leaves. It is proactive awareness. First, quarantine every single new plant for 2 to 4 weeks before it goes near your main crop, and inspect the undersides of your leaves every time you water, because that is where every pest hides first. Second, remember that pests hide in the dirt, so treating just the leaves is never a complete solution. And third, avoid overwatering at all costs, because moist soil is the single most common factor in fungus, gnat, and root problem infestations. Plants have been communicating through their leaves for hundreds of millions of years. We just forgot how to listen. Now you know how to read the signs of the invisible armies attacking your harvest. If you're dealing with something on your crops right now and you're not sure which pest it is, leave a description in the comments. Tell me the leaf color, where you see it, and what the damage looks like, and I'll help you identify it. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe, and we will keep decoding the hidden truths of your harvest in the next one.